Which means if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions open. Best of luck in the chat. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Alcyone, we have our blue Polish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is Gerald. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player, usually Terran or sometimes random, but no, he has picked the Zerg race here from the land of the Netherlands, representing Offside Esports. It is uThermal, the biggest Protoss fan out there. Let's go. Let us go. For now, we can see Gerald, he is checking for any kind of shenanigans here. He's moving out across the map, going for the scouts, and will be able to delay the expansion. It does force the unnatural out of uThermal as the drone is forced away. He's settling into his game. Now, for a long time, uThermal was competing as random, but for the past, I want to say 3 months, uThermal stopped competing as random and started competing as Terran instead, and has been doubling down and has been looking very strong as Terran. Which is why I was a little bit surprised to see uThermal embrace another race. Embrace Zerg again, despite not competing as Zerg for almost half a year. So, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit skeptical as to whether or not uThermal can make some magic happen here with these races that are not his main race. Best of luck. Best of luck to uThermal. I'm ready. He's gonna let him cook, Papi. Let him cook. I'm ready. We'll see. We'll see what he has to offer. For now, Gerald's getting into his Gate Cyber Expand. A bit of a safer opener out of Gerald, as he assumed that the gold base was going to be taken. He does block the gold. That means that uThermal can take the standard natural location instead. This base is later than normal, as we did go for a gas and spawning pool first. So a bit of a more aggressive build here from uThermal. He feigned the more economic opener, did fake it out, took a later expansion, and link speed is already on the way, and we have not pulled out a gas. Interesting. Because we haven't pulled out a gas, this could be for a Bane Bust. This could be for a fast Evo Chamber into +1 melee. This could be for a fast Lair. I'm very curious, and there it is! We have our answer, fast Lair. Of course it is. If I remember correctly, because we were casting, this was, again, like at the start of the year, we were casting uThermal's random, and I remember, and I'm sure if you're in the chat, you would remember as well, uThermal was very fond of Hydra play, right? He was really fond of, like, a Miyamaika-esque 2-base Hydra in ZVP. I'm curious if that's the case here, as we're still mining gas. We're still mining gas, so is this going to be for Hydras? Is this going to be for Nidus, right? This could just be, we're making Lings. This feels like Ling Queen Nidus from the side of uThermal. We do have 2 Overlords out on the map. That's another option. We could drone, but all these Lings does tell us that we plan on being a little bit more aggressive. We'll see what uThermal does embrace, as he does force a recall. Back at home, Stargate opener, going for the Void Ray. Lair is about to finish. And show us what you got. We're droning! Drop a Lord. Okay, not quite Nidus play. We're going for Drop a Lords instead. Interesting. Very interesting here as we're getting ready for the link drop into the main. I believe this is going to be a link drop into additional gases, if I remember correctly. But the link drop does slip into the natural, and Gerald has no vision. Doesn't see, doesn't know. Gerald is in the dark. He also didn't spot the fast Lair. Lings, they bust into the mineral line. Probes are going down. We get 2. 2 workers do fall. The Adept does get in position. And we do rotate over. Lings are going to get a lot done, though. They do get their first Adept. Not just one, they get the second Adept as well. Massive pickoffs. Void Ray out of position, dealing with Overlords. Oh, and we get 4 probe kills. 5 probe kills. Oh, 6. That was worth it. That's an insane amount of damage, and there's the Hydra Den. So I remember, when I said earlier how I remember 2-base Hydra being a thing, it is 2-base Hydra, but yes, this is uThermal's go-to build in ZVP. I remember now, every single ZVP he would do the same build, which is fun, but also a little bit predictable. But I remember every single ZVP, this is go-to, going for a link drop into Hydras. And so far, so good. We've gotten 7 probe kills. We delay the 3rd base by killing another probe. Very nicely done. As uThermal is settling into his 3-base setup. And he should be working towards a Hydra timing. With Roach speed. Sorry, with Hydra speed is what I meant to say. Is on the way. Void Ray rotates in. Likewise, Oracle towards the natural. And it's very important that at least Gerald gets some scouting information. He does get eyes on the lair. He gets eyes on both gases at the natural. These are tells. These are pieces of the puzzle, but alas, we haven't seen the tech of choice. For all we know, this could still be for Roach tech. It could be for fast Roach speed. We could be seeing a hidden Spire. If Geralt is familiar with uThermal, then he would be aware of the Hydras. He could make that assumption. Oh, he might be. Glaives. We're going for a glaive push, and without Roaches and without Banelings, uThermal's in trouble. We've seen many a Zerg player skip Roaches and skip Banelings and go into Ling Hydra and just die. Just fall over here to Glaive Adepts. Again, a very, very powerful build here from Geralt, considering what uThermal has. And what does he have? 4 Queens. 0 Ling, 0 Roaches, 0 Hydras. We can snowball out of control. We catch a Queen. We go for the mineral line. Now uThermal will escape through that pocket, through that small hole in the wall. Thankfully, does minimize his losses. But we're shading into the natural. And so many drones are going down. And the Hydras are going down as well. The Hydras, they melt against the Adepts. There's nothing to defend. GG gets called, and Geralt takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, I'm curious if Geralt is familiar with how uThermal approaches ZVP, just because, again, this is like uThermal's go-to build, is the Ling drop into 2-base Hydra. And again, if you have Lings and Hydras, if you have nothing else, then there's just no answer to Glaive Adepts. It is almost like a hard counter, I would say. It's borderline hard counter there from Geralt. Just because even if we had a handful of Hydras already up and running, even if we had Lings, like, Glaive Adepts just do so well against these light base units. And with that, Geralt takes a lead. Does take a lead, and we'll see what race uThermal picks in Game 2. That is the question. Does uThermal pick Zerg again? Does he go for Terran, his main race? Honestly, I might even favor uThermal's Terran against Geralt. It's hard to say, but uThermal's Terran has been looking very impressive. And we have our answer. uThermal is picking his race. It's Protoss. So, I wonder if uThermal, if he agreed to something, because against Baby Marine, uThermal did the same thing. uThermal, he played Protoss, then Zerg, then Terran. Here, Zerg in Game 1, Protoss in Game 2. If we get to the Ace match, I'm pretty sure uThermal will play Terran. That's if we can get there. For now, PvP. PvP, papi. Here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Crimson Court. We have our Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Storm Gaming. Leading the series 1-0, it is Gerald. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. Usually Terran, but he did pick Protoss here in Game 2. Representing Offside Esports, it is uThermal. I see in the chat. What I will say is that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, uThermal did play seriously at Home Story Cup. uThermal was mainly playing Terran. I think there was a series where uThermal did off-race. I think he off-raced against, what was it, Fiant? I remember he off-raced against someone at Home Story Cup, but for the most part, he was playing Terran. He was playing seriously. And just to reiterate, I thought he was playing Zerg. He's race picking. Race picking. But he is race picking in the series. But again, in WTL, if you've been watching World Team League, uThermal has also been playing purely and only Terran in WTL as well. So it's not like uThermal never plays seriously. He does in a lot of events, but here he's having fun. Here uThermal, he is having fun, and he's going for a Gateway Explosion. Very odd build. This is a 1-base all-in. Okay. So we're setting up with 3 gateways on the low ground with a double gas opener. So we're going to be having a mass amount of gateway units early on. Geralt does scout this, and Geralt should respond with a robo. We should be seeing a robo response. Like Geralt, he confirms with his probe, and he should get eyes on the initial units of his opponent. uThermal announced it, yeah. As here we go, it is going to be triple adept. Okay, interesting. It is going to be triple adept here from uThermal. Back at home, we're soon to be expanding as uThermal does lay the expansion with a pylon block. Adepts will soon be revealed. Again, I'm curious if Gerald... I mean, Gerald should throw down tech first. He should. Whether or not he does. Okay, we're going for a Twilight Council. A little bit risky, but we're going for a Twilight Council first. For Blink. Adepts, they have arrived. Moving out across the map. Going to be triple adept into triple stalker. The aggression does continue here for uThermal. Back at home, Gerald setting up. We'll have additionally stalkers, but he can be caught out by these adepts. Gerald has to be very careful. He does pull back, thankfully. Does pull back. Adepts, a threat in the shade. And Gerald's being cheeky. Do you see what I see? Hidden pylon. There's a hidden pylon in the main base of uThermal. Gerald, as long as we keep it hidden, we can warp in adepts right into the main base, right into the mineral line. And uThermal, he doesn't know. uThermal, he has no idea. The pylon, he's in the house, Papi. He's calling from inside the house. Uh-oh. And warp gate is about to finish. And two more gates on the way. Sorry, one more gate on the way. We're getting up to 3 gateways as well. Warp gate is kicking in. uThermal is moving out at the same time. He checks! Oh, he barely does check in time. He does confirm. Do we have a warp in available? Warp gate's still not done. And what do we go for? Does Geralt warp in defensively or offensively? So far, kiting back against the army. Does take a lot of damage. uThermal gaining ground. Adepts, they shade into the main. They shade into the mineral line. Probes are going down. Massive damage here for Geralt. Force the recall. Force the recall back into the main, but that's going to be 6 probe kills. 7 probe kills. Then we're getting a lot done. At the same time, he's shutting down the pylon. Recalling back home. Yeah, the pylon will be shut down. And the game settles. Now, there's a bit of a give and take going on. On the one hand, Geralt's, his expansion is actually later. Yeah, we do see uThermal, he does have the faster expansion. He's up in workers as well. uThermal has the greater economy. He's in a better position. On the flip side, Blink. Blink is the advantage for Geralt. Doesn't have it yet, though. Ooh, and he gets caught out. No Blink means Stalker does fall. Force fields, okay, we get another Stalker. We get a second Stalker as well. Very nice force fields out of uThermal. And Geralt does overextend. Again, just being a little bit too antsy there for Geralt. A little bit too aggressive. Gets caught out. Blink is finally done. And we throw down a Dark Shrine. Okay, you have my attention. I mean, Geralt, he knows he's behind. Geralt is behind. There's a lot of pressure on Geralt to bounce back. And if we don't get any detection, that's going to be game. We've seen time and time again in PvP, it's a rough dynamic, but every now and then, if a DT waddles in, it can just force a GG. If there's no Observer, if there's no Robo, if there's no Stargate, the game can just end. I'm hoping it doesn't. I'm hoping we get a back and forth, but I am concerned. We get 2 probe kills. Geralt keeping the pressure on. Like, we've seen Max Packs, we've seen Hero, we've seen Classic, we've seen all the top Protoss players just instantly GG when DTs arrive. Like, it happens to the best of them. And I still don't see a Robo. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Now, if the DTs reveal themselves to the army, then we're gonna have time to react and time to respond. We will have time. Ugh. uThermal, he goes for a third. He goes for a third base. Still no Robo, still no detection. And where are the DTs? Yeah, they're morphing in. Only 1 DT. There's no Prism. There's no harassing, like, gateway. There's no, like, reinforcing gateway. So 1 DT is going to get a lot of damage done, but if we had 3, for example, 1 for each base, the game would end. 100%. The game would end. Here with only 1 DT, uThermal, he has time. He has time to respond. He has time to warp in. There we go. Robo's now on the way. And we do have a full Warlock. Despite that, DT has arrived. Stalker's threatening a dive. Well, Geralt's going to be forced back. uThermal holding onto his third. Yeah, shield battery's buying some time here. We have a shield battery. We have an overcharge. 2 more DTs have arrived, though. Uh-oh. And if we break in, if we can get on top of that Robo, That could be game. Overcharge is forced. We pop the overcharge, DT at the third base. uThermal winning out in the Stalker trades. But we're about to break through. And again, if we can get on top of this pylon, if we can get on top of the Robo, could end the game. We do force field just in time. uThermal, he's holding. He is buying so much time here. Observer now on the way. Third base is under fire. Gerald pushing in. A lot of chaos. 8 probes go down, and we get into the mineral lines. And even with detection, there's no army. You get a surround. We got the surround going at least, but another DT waddles in. uThermal, he's in a lot of trouble. Initially, he was holding on, but last, he's still bleeding out so many units. At 16 probes falling. We still have the DT. No, we still have the DT in the natural. He's popping off. And the Invisible Man, it's too much. GG gets called, and Gerald will take the series 2-0, advancing on into the playoffs. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations to Gerald, as he does claim the series, does take down uThermal, and does advance on in first place out of the group. Congratulations. My condolences to uThermal. Again, unfortunately, he was quite greedy. What I'm referring to is that you do often throw down the Robo before you expand. uThermal, he chose to delay the Robo, not just delay the Robo, but uThermal also delayed scouting. There were no hallucinations, right? There were no hallucination scouts across the map. We didn't get to get eyes on the tech itself. We could have gone for a faster Robo, or we could have scouted. Neither was the case. uThermal was instead expanding, was taking things for granted, and uThermal was punished for that greed with the Invisible Man. GG. GG, well played. And this is why uThermal is a Protoss fan. True. True. Congratulations to Gerald, and with that, we have our first player advancing on out of the group. Meanwhile, we still have 3 players duking it out. We still have 3 players that are locked in battle here. I believe Fiant versus Baby Marine are still mid-series.